This is the Kiss My Collectibles podcast. Did you know that?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is...
And in no mood for joking around, Joe Lalich.
As always, I'm Nicholas Buckland.
Yeah, it should make for a good episode. Joe's in a great mood.
As always.
As always.
Oh, he's a cranky one, that one.
Yeah. He's a cranky one.
You wouldn't listen to reason.
Yeah.
No.
So, just a few things to talk about, as far as all our socials go. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Join our Facebook groups, Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax. You're watching us on YouTube probably, so please hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you get notified whenever. Yeah, it's right. Is it there? Yeah.
It's
right there.
Yeah.
Click the bell icon so you get notified when new episodes go up. Also, we'd love for you to become Patreon subscribers. So just head to patreon.com and /Kiss My Collectibles. And the last thing I want to mention is we always talk about being able to get our swag, Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax t-shirts. But Click T-Shop has just launched a brand new website, and they've introduced a ton of new products. I mean, I was looking at it just yesterday, and there are a ton of new things. So head over to clicktshop.com with it, click with a K, and not only can you get Kiss My Collectibles t-shirts and Kiss My Wax t-shirts, but you can get all kinds of stuff like pillows, socks, blankets, hoodies, hats, stickers, all kinds of stuff with our logo on it. So we would love to sell some of that stuff. We'd love all that stuff to be out there so people can see you pimping the website and pimping the podcast and all that stuff. So anyway, that's all of our house cleaning stuff, I think.
And to that point, right, Jason, we're not pimping this stuff just for money, just to make money. This stuff that we're doing costs money to make. So there's costs involved on the podcast. So we're just looking for the littlest bit of support. So anything you can do to help is always helpful. We appreciate the support of the people who have actually gone in and bought things. And Nicholas needs wine.
Nicholas needs wine. That costs money.
This doesn't pay for itself.
So yeah, man. I mean, even just become a Patreon for $1 a month. That would be fantastic. We would appreciate that dollar. So, but anyway, so. Let's talk about a project that we got coming up real quick, shall we?
Let's do it.
This planet has been in trouble for 1,000 years. We've all been blind. There's no time to waste. Give up the struggle. We must embrace our host. Give it up for
So we've partnered up with E1 Entertainment, or E1. I don't guess it's E1 Entertainment. I don't know. Well, we've partnered up with E1 to release a deluxe limited 5th anniversary edition of Ace Frehley's Space Invader record. We announced it last week. There's a whole bunch of goodies and things coming with it, and we'll be ramping up. The on sale will be Saturday, September 7th. At 5 p.m. Eastern. And, but I don't know, Joe, you want to talk about it a little bit, or you want to make fun of the fact that I said Eastern?
Eastern.
Yeah.
5 p.m. Eastern.
I don't know why I say Eastern.
I don't know, but it's great. I love it. So the thing, just to run through it real quick in my head, we've got a deluxe custom slipcase that's going to have a foil effect and an emboss on the logo. We're going to have a hype sticker. We're going to have a lyric booklet. We're going to have Virgin artwork, so Ken Kelly's artwork, unobstructed by any logos or verbiage on it. We're also going to have colored vinyl.
Yep.
And it's going to be limited to 500, and they will all be signed by Ace Frehley himself. Yep. So we're really happy and excited that Ace has agreed to do it, and E1 has been super helpful. So, 500 on sale September 7th, 5 p.m. Eastern. And, Yeah.
That list of things, I happen to have them in front of it. It also has a poster coming with it.
You got the
will,
Mylar poster, yeah.
Yep, they will be hand numbered, and this will be an all new master that'll have unreleased mixes of toys and whatever girl wants by Adam Schmidt. So there's a lot of extra bonuses in this particular package, so we think you'll like it. So
yeah, for the first time in any of these indie/boutique releases that we put out, there's going to be bonus and new content, which is great. So that's, bringing something new and different to the table, which we thought was exciting and special for this release. So
yeah. And I mean, I've loved for years getting those. If you subscribe to some of the music magazines like Q or Mojo, the British ones, the subscribers get those beautiful subscriber covers where they take all the cover lines off, and it just allows that picture to breathe. So I'm looking forward to when I receive my copy of it to just to get that lovely Ken Kelly artwork with nothing else on it, just to be the obviously Ace's signature, but just to get that. I think it's almost like a bit of a work of artwork when you take it out of there. That's why I'm really looking forward to for everyone to receive their copy of that.
Nicholas is looking forward to taking the vinyl and putting it on top of his purple Sonic Boom away from the album cover. So.
That's right. He doesn't even know what vinyl is, but he's looking forward to getting his copy. That's so much of a Oh no! And look at how he's holding it. Oh my gosh!
Oh, people are freaking
It's
out.
gotta have It's gotta have.
The whole KISS community just took a collective gasp. At that.
I've literally never done that before in my life.
It's a Sonic Boom coaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So anyway, that is the 5th anniversary deluxe edition that Kiss My Wax will be releasing.
There's no liquid on the bottom of this thing. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway,
sorry. Go on. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicholas. Yeah.
So,
anyway, 5th anniversary release of Ace Frehley Space Invader from E1 and Kiss My Wax on sale September 7th. And yeah, that's it for that.
Yeah. Speaking of buying things, someone put a cool book out. I don't know what his name is, but I think everybody should buy it. You can't buy this version anymore, but it's the hottest brand in the land book that the other two guys on the screen right now put together. And so when are the standard copies shipping? Have you heard anything about?
Yeah, look, it's looking like the very last week of August. Could be the first week of September. It'll be whenever they clear through US customs. But that's what are we now? We're at the 25th, so it's rolling up within the next 2 weeks. So that's when I'm getting a lot of be arriving. I think that's because they're seeing everyone holding their deluxe ones. But
right.
Yeah, I'm really excited to sort of have the general public to have them in their hands, because I think it's not until you open it up and you get that sort of the weight of it and you just see how big the thing is and how much work is in that you really get the full effect of it. I almost think photos don't always do it justice until you actually hold the thing. So yeah.
And how nice the paper feels, and we put a lot of thought into all of the touch and feel of the thing, and just how it kind of, we really wanted that coffee table book kind of approach, and hopefully we did right by it and by the fans and by the band. So we're super.
But I think that's our thing as well. Just it's just trying to get that level of quality to everything we do. Like with the Ace Frehley release, I know you guys had spent a lot of time working out what was going to be, just a premium kind of feel to it, giving people something special. And I think there's the exact same principle with this book. It's giving people something special. There's a reason why this thing is like it is. It's because we've spent a lot of time thinking about it. Probably let me overthink things is one of my mottos. But yeah, we have overthought things so that you get something good in your, and you get something good in your hands when you actually have it, and you can actually say, well, this actually belongs with my other products, that I got.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, just to give you a little bit of behind the scenes, people think, oh, these things are cheap to make and this, that, and it's not that way. And especially everything we add in there. So if we emboss something, if we put foil on it, if we use a different upgraded, heavier paper, every bit of that costs more money on our side. But we've kind of decided to do that on all these projects that we're taking on to make sure that there's a higher quality level than anything else out there. We've got super high-end printers working on this stuff. Our print contact was fantastic throughout the hottest brand in the land project, and he's going to be helping on the Ace Frehley thing as well. So yeah, we're really excited. Did I just say Frehley?
You did say Frehley.
He's freely helping us with Ace Frehley. But anyway, yeah. So it's something
we're not
that
blackmailing him.
So, but yeah, it's something that we always endeavor to do on all of these projects is really raise the bar in quality, just the weight, the feel, and just give you something cool for your money. So it's what we're trying to do on everything. Yeah. Hopefully it works. Hopefully you dig it.
So you can get your copy of the Hottest Brand in the Land, the standard edition, at hottestbrandbook.com for $99. Head over there right now and buy your copy. They will be shipping very, very soon.
Yeah.
So, got anything to show, guys?
Jason, I know you do. Nicholas, do you have something to show?
I got a couple of things. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I can go. You want me to go first real quick? Mine's a quick hitter here. So another copy of Rock and Roll Over for me. I don't know if you can see them back there. I think this makes in the 30s, something like that. But so this is that's pretty cool, right? Black and white cover on the back. It's a copy from Greece. So here is the orange Minos label. So there you go on that one. Yeah.
It's got John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John on it.
That's right. So there you go. So
that's killer looking.
Cool. Yeah, cool addition to the collection. Got that through the Kiss My Wax group, through one of our friends on the page. So thanks for that. I don't want to mention his name just in case he doesn't want to be mentioned, but very cool transaction, very speedy, great guy, very cool.
Yeah. If you're not in the Facebook groups, definitely join us there because it's a great place to trade. It's a safe place to purchase records. You usually know most everybody that's in there. We vet a lot of these. We vet all these people that are in there and hopefully make the transaction safe for everyone. So.
Yeah,
who's next? Yours is probably cooler, Nicholas. I'll go next. So this just started shipping, I think, in the last week or two. People are starting to show them in the Wax group and everything. But I think the gentleman that owned this record label, I think he passed away several years ago, and his son, the way I understand the story, has decided to reissue the Peter Criss Cat 1 record. It's on the Tony Nicole Tony Records label.
TNT.
And TNT, that's right. So what's cool about it? It's a double LP. It is hand numbered. Can you see that?
Yep.
111 of 550. It is hand numbered, and instead of just being the standard Cat 1 record, it also there was an EP that come out in '93. It also adds 2 songs, The Cat and What You're Doing, to this as well, and it's.
How's that split over the double LP? Is it side 1 and side 2 of the original album, and then the EP's just got one song? The second album's got one song.
No, it's side A has 3 tracks, side B has 3 tracks, side.
Okay, so they've redone them. Okay.
Right, they've redone the track listing.
Well, that's almost worth getting it for that reason, that they've kind of split it all up. That's cool.
Right. So got breathing room for those tracks on each, and it's on purple vinyl. And a lot of people are like, well, purple was Paul's color, but purple was kind of the idea, the theme around this album cover. There's a lot of purple on it. So it's purple with green labels. It's translucent. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's done very well. And it's got a lyric insert that comes with it. So it's got the black and white shot of this, and then it's got all the lyrics and stuff on the other side. So the odd thing is it's not being done through a website. You've got to order it directly from Tony himself, and basically you just have to send him an email, and he will send you an invoice, or I believe he sends you an invoice or something like that, or you send him the money and he just mails it to you. And I know a lot of people were skeptical about that process in the beginning because it just seems kind of fishy, but
old school.
Yeah, it's really old school, but everybody is getting their records and there's been no issues. I had no issues with mine at all. So I think he said the last time he's posting in Kiss My Wax and Kiss My Collectibles when people are are posting their photos of them. He's saying, send me an email and you can get your copy. But I think
I actually met him. I met him in a car park, and he slid me the record. Slid a briefcase full of money. He slid me Chris one.
Yeah, but I think he said on the last couple of posts that it was close to selling out. So there's probably not very many left. So yeah. So there's that. What do you got, Nicholas?
Cool.
So it's still available, Jason?
It may still be available. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What have I got? I've got two things. This one is another one to add to my Kiss belt buckle one, and this is really super duper shiny with very, very little scratches. I got a lot of scratch ones because I'm not one of those collectors who won't buy anything unless it's 100% perfect. Maybe I'll upgrade later, but this thing is really nice. It's like
one of the tougher, more expensive
shiny.
logo.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's very nice. Yeah.
Super shabby. Yes, I'm really pleased to have that one. On the back, does it say 1977 Pacifica? So that's a good one. And the one that's just come in this week.
Does that have the Rocksteady logo on it?
What's that, sorry?
Does that have the Rocksteady logo on it?
No.
I'm kidding.
Exactly.
If it was 1979, it would have the Rocksteady.
No.
It would, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. This next one is an Australian release, which is from this was the alternate what do you call it? The alternate pendant from the show bag. So the thing that came in the show bags, just let me duck off camera, there we go. And this is what came in most show bags, which is the little choker kind of thing on that backing card. But this was the alternate one that came in a few copies. And as you'll notice, it's very, very similar to the Ace Frehley. I said Frehley, back again. The pendants from 1978. They've removed from the thing the Ace from there, and they've strangely kept a coin 1978 still on there. They've removed jewelry by the stars as well, but been looking for that one for a while. So I've now got both the
very nice
both the things that came in the show bags. So yeah.
So the original necklaces, they all had the signatures, right? You have an example of the original one, Nicholas?
Yes, they do actually, yeah. So that's the original one, and you can see Ace in there. Correct. Yeah, but it's the exact same printing plate. They've just obviously removed Ace, and they've removed. You can see on the Ace one, it says Jewelry of the Stars. I might get you to flash it up on screen. You should be able to see the two. But anyway, that's the two of them anyway.
Yeah,
side by side. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, cool.
God, those signature necklaces, man. One day.
Oh, one more thing. I finally hung. You can see behind me. I finally hung the unmasked circle. It's been sitting around forever, but it's on the ceiling now, so you can hopefully see it behind me.
Hey, can you grab that down real quick and put your wine on that?
Sure.
Actually, could you? It looks out of round. Could you take some scissors and trim it?
Yeah, just like a little.
All right. So cool stuff, guys. All right. So what are we talking about today? We need to discuss the topic.
We're gonna flash back to the days of yore, like it were yesterday, and we're gonna talk about our trip to Los Angeles, right?
That's right. Yeah. Our trip to get those hottest brand in the land deluxe, super deluxe editions signed by Paul and Gene. It was a interesting trip.
So Nicholas, why don't we take a step all the way back? You're in production on this book. The Kiss Camp reaches out to you. You never really had an idea to make. I mean, of course, you would have always loved to make this thing official from the get-go, but you were it was a fan project, right? It was something that was just a labor of love that you had been working on for years. And then the Kiss Camp reaches out, and kind of organically, this thing all comes about, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very quite a slow process. I was planning just to release it as another unofficial book, like a lot of the Julian Gill books and a few other ones. It would have worked just as well that way. It was only because I finally came up with a cover. Obviously, because we were working on it together. We came up with a cover and then posted it on Twitter, and Gene follows us on Twitter with the Everything Kiss thing, and obviously his people saw it and instantly in contact, and wanted to to make an official project, which was really flattering actually, because I think if it's something you're chasing, then it's obviously getting that prize is sort of a good thing. But it was nice to actually have them contact me. But that was a nice feeling to sort of almost then put their faith in and say that this looks like a good project and this is worthy of the KISS name. I know some people will laugh worthy of the KISS name because you've got Hello Kitty toilet paper, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, in terms of the book world of KISS, there aren't huge amount that are made official. So it's very lovely that they contacted and made it official. So yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too that if we or you would have set out and said, hey, this is going to be an official KISS book, it may have never happened, right? Because that's something that you can't, you can only do what you can do in the business world to make things like that happen. But to have the KISS camp reach out and say, hey, we like it enough and we want to make it official. So that started the ball rolling to this trip to Los Angeles. But it took quite a while to get kind of things in order, right? To be able to get this thing to happen, to make it official, to kind of work out some of the details.
Yeah, I mean, the signing of the books was just, I think, something that you and myself came up with, where we just said, well, let's ask. Like, it's one of those whole things. If you say, if you don't ask, you don't get. So it was just, wouldn't it be cool to have? We're just almost having a little shopping list of. I think we had about 5 or 6 things where we said, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Would it be cool if we had that? And we asked, and for a good portion of them, they actually said yes to. That was also surprising. But again, tying Gene and Paul down to get the book signed was always going to be a huge thing. And they almost said to us, I was trying to work out when it would be, and they said, just be in LA from this date to this date and we'll make it happen. And it was almost right up until we'd already all booked our trips to go before they said, okay, now the date is, I think it was August 2nd in the end was the actual final date that we did it. But before that, it was just be in LA. So I was originally just going to be sitting around waiting for the bat phone to ring, so to speak, and get down there and get them to sign them. So yeah, it was certainly hairy, because they did suggest, they said, if we don't have time, we'll sign them in October, November. And I was a little bit like, well, yeah, people have already paid for them by that point. So we can't do it. Otherwise you would get most of the people getting theirs, in a few weeks' time, and everyone else would have had to wait till the end of the year. But I was not going to let that happen. I would have chased them across the country in a rental car with those books in tow.
Yeah,
wherever they're playing,
in
no matter what. Exactly.
In the back of a parking lot. You sign these now.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. We would have done the meet and greet at 50 shows.
One book each. Yeah. Yeah. I get them to meet me in the car at Denny's or something.
That would have done you no good on this tour, because you can't even get anything signed at the meet and greet on this tour.
No,
so, yeah, you just went, here's my book.
No, I meant the Paul and the Gene meet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we would have done that because So it was a cool and interesting process, and like Nicholas said, we just kind of came up with a list of wishes and wants, and a lot of them came true, and they were really cool. And it kind of, and like you were saying too, there were a lot of, the needle had to be threaded pretty fine, because they were on a break from the end of the road tour before the next leg kicked off. So we had to have books that weren't quite, like we said, there's books on a boat now coming over. Some of those books had to be pulled off press and sent early. And so there were a lot of fine details that had to happen for all these things to sort of work out and be coordinated. And we were always you're always concerned at every step of the process. Like, if any of these things don't fall just correctly, what are we going to do? There always had to be a plan B and a plan C. And we even showed up in LA going, is this even really going to happen? Because we had dates and we had, this is going to happen. And as it got really close, I think we all got more solidified in the fact that it was going to happen, and this was the date and this was the place. But up and until then, we were all kind of like, let's just kind of make some trip plans.
US Customs, it could have easily been held up. We're holding this for 5 days or something while we go through this shipment, and we would have missed it and would have had to come up with some other ideas. So it was very. I wouldn't say it's definitely not the scariest situation we've been in, but it certainly had us all going until we actually had those books signed and back in the car again. It was almost like, is this thing going to actually happen?
Right.
So.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
100 things on the checklist, right? And we had to start off with number 1 and go check, and then number 2 check, and then number 3 check, and number 4, and that included all of us getting out there, and Nicholas, you getting there, and there being space and places for us to be able to have these books shipped, and then show up at a certain time. And if we show up late or we show up early, so it was, there were a lot of fine needles that needed to be threaded along the way, and luckily it all kind of worked out.
Yeah.
So let's just do a quick snapshot of your trip, Nicholas. So you get to LA, and
Yeah, I got to LA, and John Five had reached out to me, and big Kiss collector, as everyone knows. And I got a tour of his collection, which was very nice. It's certainly one of the bigger houses I've been into, and John was just absolutely fantastic. If you've never seen him before, he's just really welcoming. I didn't really know him beforehand, but he's really welcoming, really friendly, and just basically just another Kiss collector, just like all of us. Like he had a real passion for even the smallest details. So we went into this big, huge, long, almost 3-car garage where John had everything laid out. And I think I've told this story before, but one of the coolest things is he just had the whole thing decked out like a real 1970s lounge room. So you had the Kiss collection, but you also had, the shag rug. You had a 1970s couch. You had 1970s lamps and an old school phone there. Like he's really gone to the attention to detail as though you walked into the 1970s. So that was a lovely atmosphere, and I must have spent about 2 or 3 hours there going. The t-shirts alone I just spent almost like we just went through the t-shirts one by one. That almost took an hour to go through all his t-shirts. But it was a real tour, and he was just we just sat and chatted about things that only collectors care about. There was one of the small things that always made me laugh is we were talking about how the 1980 bubblegum cards were basically, I said, you notice you always see the Eric Carr cards, but you never see them in the packs. Like you don't get people saying, here are the Aussie cards in the packs. And we were saying, what do the packs look like? We're just assuming that because the boxes were the same as the US, maybe the wrappers were the same, but you rarely get them even on Australian eBay. So he said, I've got a box here, we should open it up. And we start to open up this box, and we're pulling it back, and there's this white cardboard insert thing with a red line on it. We both go, what's that? Is this something we've never... He's going, oh my God. We're going, have we because he'd never opened it before. We're going, oh my God, what is this rare kind of Aussie insert thing that comes in it? And it turned out to be a piece of cardboard that whoever shipped it had put in there. He just went, fuck! And we threw it over our shoulder. We thought we'd uncovered. It was like Indiana Jones. We had the little sandbag about to place
trying to measure it out.
Yeah, exactly. It was nothing. We were so excited when we found this thing that was inside there.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was a great day. Just to be able to have the time to go through there.
Well, what did they look like?
Thanks to John Five. Sorry?
What did they look like? The packages.
Oh, they were just the US ones in the
nothing. They were just
exactly. Yeah, they were exactly.
Our assumptions were correct.
We're exactly correct. Yeah. Exactly.
You're a true Kiss collector when you open something and you see a piece of cardboard and you think, "Oh my God!" and then you're just like, "Oh,
right,
cardboard with a misprinted stripe on it from that some dude in the '70s cut out and threw it in there to loosely protect the packs of cards."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So that was fun. Then as you guys started to arrive, I met up with this amazing LA artist. His name's Ajax. He's on our groups under a various amount of pseudonyms. But he does a lot of great rock and roll artwork, and he ships them all over the world. He's got this amazing penthouse artwork art space in Brentwood, and met up with him, and he actually managed to. He does a lot of posters for Steve Jones's radio show, so he was able to get me on the show to promote the book. So that was a lot of fun meeting Steve Jones, an Englishman, and the Sex Pistols. Yeah, sorry, yes, yeah. Love Gun to Sex Pistol. Yes, it was a strange combination. But he's an interesting character himself. Very very different than the LA vibe is Steve Jones. An old kind of geezer, bit of a curmudgeon kind of thing. That was a really fun interview with him.
He's funny. He's very smooth and very sardonic at the same time. He has an edge. He's very confident and very cool. He's if you've never watched the show, I think it's KLOS.
Not 95, I think.
95,
yeah,
5 or something like that, So you should check that out. He's got all kinds of famous musicians in all the time into his show.
Yeah, by this time I was there and accompanied and took a bunch of photos and stuff, and that was definitely a fun experience for sure. Yeah, so I'll definitely we'll throw some photos in here of that particular meeting. So.
Once in a lifetime opportunity. What a great another very cool thing that happened for you in LA, right? That again, you would have never imagined, but there you are talking to Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols on his radio show about your book. I mean, what a trip, huh?
My inner fifth.
Well, people are probably wondering, who the hell is this bloke? And you are?
Myself or Nicholas?
Oh, sorry.
Me?
Sorry, you've got shades on, I've got shades on. You don't know who I'm looking at. I'm looking at this bloke.
I am an author of a book that I've done with the rock band Kiss, and this is basically a book on all the crazy merchandise of the 1970s. So it's really for all us big kids out there. I'm 45, but I feel about 10 years old when I read this book.
So do you actually have you collected all of Kiss?
Look, I've collected a lot of stuff, but a lot of this stuff comes from all around the world, from Norway, from Japan, from Sweden, from Mexico. They've all been shooting stuff, especially for this book. It's the archive of all the toys and stuff. Think about Star Wars and what they brought out in the 1970s. Pretty much Kiss did the same thing. Bed sheets, bins, everything.
So this is not your stuff, this is pictures of everyone who's...
This is pictures of everything from 1973 to when they took the makeup off in 83. It's basically all the crazy stuff that Kiss released.
But some of that stuff is yours.
Some of the stuff is mine, but I'm not that rich to own everything in this 392-page book.
So where do you get the photos from? Fans?
Well, I shot about 60% of it myself, and then from other fans. So I was creative directing people from all around the world. I had a guy in Norway, I needed more light on something, and he told me he could take it out into the snow and shoot it. So he's out there in a blizzard trying to get some nice white light on the product.
Do you give him credit for it?
I gave them all credit, yeah. Everyone's been so generous, everyone contributed to the book, yeah.
What's your obsession with Kiss?
It's that mixture of superhero and band. So great rock and roll music, and they were superheroes, because I always loved the comics when I was younger, so it was all... They just merged the two together. Superhero plus band.
Do you live in
I live in Sydney, Australia.
So, have you ever seen them here, or you obviously seen them in Australia?
Yeah, I've seen them in Australia. I haven't seen them play live here. Yeah.
Yeah. What year did you first see them?
Well, they toured. They had the big tour in 1980. The whole of Australia went crazy. It was like the ABBA craze and it was the Kiss craze. But I was only 5 years old at the time, so I had to wait till they came back in 1995.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a long time.
And did you obviously had all their records before you saw them?
Had all their records, yeah. You don't build a career this long if the music is totally bad. So I love the music first, and then I started liking all the toys and stuff. Again, being a big kid, collecting Masters of the Universe and all that stuff, so I just can't... I love cool, kitsch things.
They didn't really take off in England.
No, it's a strange one. I used to work on Mojo magazine when I was in London, and the art director, Wag, he loves Kiss and all that, but the rest of the journalists, it was like,
They thought they were like a jokey.
They thought they were a joke band. What did you think at the time? Running a parallel career.
I didn't really what would you say their biggest? When did they start?
They started in 1974.
Okay,
really,
so that's when 74.
Yeah,
we started in 75.
Yeah.
And I, to be honest with you, I weren't really that aware of them. I mean, a little bit. I remember the outfits.
Yeah.
And the faces and the tongue.
Yeah.
And all that, and the big boots.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that was a total spin out. Like I almost was when Ajax said to me, "Oh, we'll go on Steve Jones." I was going like, "What for?" I was almost like, why? Because I'm watching Slash on there, Paul Stanley, and all these people. I go,
the
why
Foo
am I
Fighters,
on? Yeah, Foo Fighters, everyone's been on there, so it was a real honor to be on there. I had a lot of fun. It was a good interview. I enjoyed his different paces. It was very different to talking to Kiss collectors. It was just, he'll just suddenly interrupt and go, "I've got a bobblehead,"
It's one of those things where they ask you to be on the show, or they tell you you're going to be on the show, and you're like, "Cool, what book are we promoting? Like, which book are you don't even realize that it's for you, and you're like, "Wait, me? My book? That doesn't make any sense mentally, So
yeah. So then the big day came with the signing, which as we talked about, and a big thank you to all at McGee and everyone who works for Kiss. They're really professional people. Like, I know it's probably been said before, but they made everything happen. And when you got there, you realize, okay, they're working for a big band here, because they were courteous, friendly. Even they said to Jason, they said, we need an extra table for the books, and they sent you into the Kiss rehearsal room. Tell them about that.
I got to go in there.
Jason was the only one who went into the Kiss rehearsal room.
That's right. So we're set up, in their rehearsal space, this huge rehearsal area with different rehearsal rooms, and there's these line of tables right outside of Kiss's room, and so we needed that extra table. So me and Sean, is that who went in with me? With
Sean,
McGee Entertainment. Sean, he and I walked in, and they were, the band wasn't there yet, but the techs were there, and they were just setting everything up. And we grabbed this table and start to bring it out, and I'm just looking at it going, it's unbelievable. There's Singer's drum kit, and then on the side wall there was another table, and it was full of stuff, and you could see all of the Kiss Cruise flyers that they're signing, and I think Paul was the only one left. Everybody else had already signed them, and Paul was the only one. He needed to come in early and sign 3,000 of those things, I guess. So so that was pretty neat.
He actually said that to us, didn't he? He said you guys are the warm-up. Because we had a whole lot of books thinking, wow, we've got a lot of stuff for them to sign, and then he just almost going, you guys are the warm-up. I got 3,000 in there. So
So it's pretty interesting, but it was cool to be in that room. It'd have been cooler if we'd have all been able to be in that room while they were rehearsing, but still, it was cool. So
yeah, it was fun. So we line up all these books on all these tables. They're all open to the page. And one of the cooler moments was we said, Paul, I think, asked you, Nicholas, where do you want me to sign this, right? Do you remember that little bit of it?
What are you referring to? Sorry.
And so he says, where do you want me to sign it? And you say, oh, well, we have this, and just leave room for Gene.
That's right.
Yeah. And Paul goes, oh, fuck it. He's like, whoever signs first, that's the rule, gets to sign it wherever they want, as big as they want. So he said, fuck that guy. Right.
Yeah, he did say fuck that guy.
Yeah. It was very funny, like a playful.
Laughing. He was laughing.
Yeah, he was joking.
Teasing,
But so
whoever signs it first gets to take up the most room.
That's right.
Yeah.
But then, of course, being the consummate professional, Paul signs right in his spot and leaving perfect space for Gene to the right of it. And if you've received your books already, you've seen how great the autographs are. And with that, Paul Stanley starts signing like a complete madman. I've never seen anything like it. The guy starts signing like a machine down this row of books, and he's just like boom, boom, boom. And Jason is in the background pulling books, I think, to me, and I'm putting
I was pulling them.
Yeah.
Right, had to hand them to you, and I had to go to our other stack because we had like 3 or 4 tables out of books. All turned to the pages they needed to sign on, but there wasn't enough space on the tables to get all the books out. So there was probably another 20 books in a stack at the beginning of the table. So when Paul would sign, I would close them up and hand them to Joe to put in the box, because Paul and Gene signed at different times, and Paul was there early first because he had to do all of those cruise things, and so I was having to hand them to Joe and take another book and put it back in the spot that I just picked up and turn it to the right page. And I swear that
Paul
guy
had to make the lap. So he ends down the row, and then he goes back and starts again to finish off the rest of the books that Jason has now opened and laid out on the table.
And I felt like the guy was going to lap me because he was signing that fast.
Yeah,
I couldn't get the books. We couldn't get the books put away and put out fast enough. It was crazy.
And that's even with him again being the ultimate professional. I was taking photos of him signing, and then he would actually stop and he sort of did some poses for us to get some photos for social media. So again, Paul Stanley, you know, whatever anyone wants to say, he is the ultimate professional and really great at promotion. He stopped to do a photo with the book, you know, to point to the book, and you know, I can't say enough good things about that singular experience, and you know, his, you know, just commitment to just being professional in that moment.
Yeah, he was very cool for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't just us that he was signing for either. They were signing. I think you've actually probably seen. They've got these new semis out that I think we just Everything Kiss might have just posted them.
Yeah, we'll put it up on screen now.
Right, something like that. And you know, they were signing those things, and there was a contract there for T-shirts or something to sign.
Yeah,
he
radio.
He had to do the radios. He had to do that.
Yeah.
He was just like, I've got a list of things to do, and I'm gonna do them all. You know,
it was so cool. He just rips through all this stuff, does the radio thing for I think the Kiss cruise in one take, and boom, into the rehearsal room. I mean, it was just, it was really cool. It was, you know, watching a professional like that work was really fun in kind of a different setting, right? We've all met them before, and you know, there's been various degrees of kind of meet and greets that we've done and different things, but to see kind of those guys in their element doing what they do on a daily basis was exciting and fascinating all at the same time.
Yeah, and while we were there, there was a pretty good gap between Paul coming in, because clearly Paul had to come in early, and then, you know, Gene and Eric and Tommy showing up later to start rehearsals. There was a pretty good gap there where we were just waiting, and I think during that time, Francis came out, Paul's guitar tech, and Gene's drum tech, I forget his name, and they were curious what the books were, and those guys basically looked through every page of the book. We're just, you know,
they're going, I used to have that.
I used to have that. I wanted that. I saw that in the order forms. Like, it was so cool to see too that there was that element of fandom with those guys who work with the band probably on damn near a daily basis, right?
Yeah. That was a pretty cool experience. I enjoyed that, chatting with them about all of that stuff. But and then Gene and Eric came in together, right? Or Gene and Tommy came in together. Eric came in.
Yeah, and then Gene and Tommy.
And then shortly after Gene and Tommy came in, and Eric was still milling around, and
as he does,
and clearly has hearing problems because What? What?
What?
Yeah, he couldn't understand Nicholas for some reason.
Couldn't understand Nicholas, but even me, I've talked to Eric a million times. I was talking right to answering a question, and he was like, "What?" You know, it's like he couldn't hear us or something. But Gene and Tommy come in, and then, you know, we wrangled Gene up to get ready to do the autographs, and
Gene was his regular gregarious self. He was very entertaining during the signing.
Yep.
But he was very cool too, just as professional, talking the whole entire time. A little bit of a different vibe than Paul. It's not that Paul wasn't friendly. He certainly was. He was very cool, very accommodating. But Gene was very gregarious and talked a lot to us as he was going along. And definitely wanted to chop it up while he was signing books, so to speak. But it was cool and fun.
I mean, Gene always has more of a business focus, so he was more sort of asking a lot more business questions, whereas, you know, like you would expect more sort of questions on the actual merchandise itself or the content of the book. But Gene's very interested in the business side. I don't think that surprises anyone. So that was a lot of fun. That kept us on our toes as we were walking down. But again, he grabbed Tommy into shot. He goes, "See, you get two for the price of one," and pulled Tommy in, and we got a photo, got a photo with both of those. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And Tommy spent time with the book as well and looked through it and thought it was cool. So
I didn't say that.
Too.
I actually walked over to Tommy when he was looking, and I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Oh, this is pretty incredible, man. You know that those guys did a great job." And I was like, "Yeah, man, it's pretty awesome." So Tommy definitely appreciated it, and everybody knows he's a fan too. So that was definitely cool. So
and I had a not a Motorhead shirt on. I had a Larry Davehead shirt on, and Gene spent a couple of seconds breaking me down over that, which was pretty fun. So you'll see in my photo, maybe we'll put it up here. Gene covers up the Larry Davehead shirt that I was wearing. So it was fun. It was interesting because I felt anyway, like we were really in the inner sanctum, and these guys felt free to say whatever. Like, this is a safe space to
Yep.
Yeah.
to break balls, to make fun, and to sort of kid one another, even including us. And I thought it was fun. And
Yeah,
you
it
know, at
wasn't a
first
meet
we
and
were all-
greet. It didn't feel like a meet and greet environment. It was very much you're in there.
Completely
rehearsal
different.
Space, yeah.
Yep, completely
Yeah.
different than all the meet and greets that I've done with those guys. Completely different. So
Yeah, and so you walk away from it a little unsure, but then we get this tweet, and Nicholas definitely directed at you for sure. And the quality of the book and everything that Gene tweets out and says, "Boy, those guys were so polite, so professional," and that was really, really rewarding after the, after having done the signing and hoping that it had gone well and hoping that we were acting professional, to get that sort of validation from Gene about that we had done a good job and that the thing had come off without a hitch was really cool and rewarding, I thought.
yeah. So as
exactly.
we're standing there reflecting and after we'd just packed up all the books after Gene had signed and we're just kind of chatting back and forth about little things. What are we going to do next? All of a sudden you just start hearing music and we're still just kind of talking over it. And about, a couple of minutes in, I was like, hey guys, stop for a second. Just listen to this. And sure enough, the band's in there playing Detroit Rock City, a song that, they had just played a million times 2 weeks earlier and had been on tour, and they're in there in the rehearsal room rehearsing Detroit Rock City,
Yeah.
It was a real moment, that, wasn't it? Because we're all just going, okay, the books are now got to go into the car and they've been signed. It was almost like we were in robotic mode.
Right.
It was, Jason almost went, guys,
he did.
listen to what we're listening to at the moment. It was like, oh yeah, well, wow, this is really cool. Like, not many people get to hear this. Them in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
It's funny, Jason, when you said it, I just got a chill down the spine just from you saying that. It's like our band, this legendary band, is right there on the other side of that wall right there.
Yep.
Practicing.
Yep.
And
unbelievable.
And the level of professionalism, right? A lot of people that we've told that story to are like, wait, what? And even us, I think we were a little surprised. They're rehearsing Detroit Rock City.
Right.
And
they certainly were. They were clearly
years.
They were clearly going through the whole set, because at this point, we don't want to look like hangers on, so we're going to leave. Right, we're moving out. And Sean from McGee Entertainment says, "Hey, let's go down the street a couple of blocks to this rooftop kind of restaurant thing, and let's go have drinks and eat some food." And so we go there. We're probably there for at least an hour, if not close to an hour and a half. And that was very pleasant, other than the scorching heat where you couldn't hold your own utensils and stuff. But it was cool. It was up on the rooftop. You could see the Hollywood sign, and it
was the surface of the sun, basically.
Right. Yes. Yes. But so we finish and we go back to the rehearsal space where our car is parked to load up and head back home, and you could still hear them outside the building. And they were
Psycho Circus.
They were playing Psycho Circus, so you could tell that they were just right through the set, and so it was very cool. It was
and everybody, like you had talked about Sean before, he was so cool and accommodating, and even when we were just parking the car and dropping him off, and he's like, or no, we were walking back to the car, and he goes, "Oh, you guys aren't coming back in?" So we were, it was kind of like we kind of felt like there, it was kind of cool for a moment. You're in the submarine with these guys for a minute. It was really
and I think we definitely made it a mission not to sort of, in that moment particularly, not be. We were book producers and getting a job done. We definitely weren't. I think we would have been kicked out if we were like fanboys trying to
at the end of that table had a big stack of merchandise to sign.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
no,
exactly.
But you know what I mean. Like I think us acting professional meant that they felt very relaxed, that we weren't some strange people hanging around their rehearsal space trying to just basically be fans outside of them. So that was good.
It goes back to that inner sanctum thing, right? I really felt like we were on the inside at that moment, which was great.
There were lots of people in and out of that building that were just great. There was who do we know who that band was? That soul funk Motown band was?
Yeah, it was on Motown Review. That's all I know about them. But they were streaming.
They're
in
off
and
to
out.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah. They were definitely, several people were definitely interested in the book, and then they were also interested in the fact that Kiss was rehearsing right across the room from them. It was pretty it was pretty interesting.
No, but it was great having a guy from a Motown band. He came across earlier. He was just blown away. He's going, I wanted that. I had that. I
Yeah.
had that lunchbox. That was a lunchbox I had, and you're kind of going, someone from a Motown background. You just weren't expecting them to. Because I love Kiss when I was a kid. Like he opened it up and it almost brought him back. Because I don't think he probably would spend much time on Kiss as an adult. But when he opened it up and just happened to flick to the lunchbox page, you saw this man of 45, 50 suddenly turned into like a 10-year-old child. I could see it in his eyes. He was
that's an interesting
moved by it, you know?
Yeah, that's an interesting part of the story, because that, I believe, what you've always said is the purpose of the book. It's not necessarily a checklist of, I have this, I don't have this, I need this. This is a period piece to take you back to a certain point in time, and that anybody can enjoy, not just a Kiss collector, anyone who was a fan
in the 70s.
Sure, of anything in the 70s, can appreciate that.
Because I think that guy specifically said, oh, I had the Happy Days lunchbox, I had a Speed Buggy lunchbox, and I had a Kiss lunchbox. So,
and then he said his mum made him, he was really annoyed, his mum made him throw it out because it rusted. So he got some juice in there, it rusted. And I was just saying, well, that's like a good mum, because you're getting rust in there. You don't want that on your food. You throw the thing out. But he was really annoyed at his mum because his Kiss lunchbox rusted up. So
for sure.
That was great.
That was definitely a fun day. And then after that, I think Joe took off and went to hang out with his kid, and Nicholas and I started an assembly line of putting boxes and books in boxes, and getting all of that squared away so he could get ready to ship those out on Monday. So
and again, it goes back to what a consummate professional our print production team was too, because they had boxes ready to go. So all the books come shrink wrapped, but these books had the shrink wrap had to be taken off before obviously the signing. So there are poly bags. Every book was poly bagged that went out. So all that production had to be done, but all that stuff was ready to go, and there were packing labels ready to go. And so, again, just a huge shout out of thanks to our production team on all that stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, even to the point of where because I was working out before I came to LA, I was going, well, how am I going to carry 50 books down to the United States Postal Service, and am I standing in line for behind with a whole bunch of people behind me while
with
I
the
try
refrigerator
to
mover?
Exactly, with the refrigerator mover. I was trying, but that's what I was trying to picture. How I was going to do that, but the production team at RTO were just absolutely amazing. I said that, and in 10 seconds he goes, no, I've already organised. FedEx are picking up Monday morning. It's almost like anytime I had a question, he goes, no, I've already organised this. He was almost one step ahead of this. So the fact that even people like Dave Scott, who's in LA, actually had his book the very next day. It's amazing work.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, it's also the same gentleman we will be using for our extra components for the Ace Frehley record.
Yeah.
And possibly fulfillment as well. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's not fail to mention Dave Scott. We got to meet up with Dave Scott. Who? I don't know who that guy is. So Dave Scott, our buddy who's in the groups and everything, and we've done an episode with him. Told his story, his Kiss story, and everything. Dave is a great guy, and we got to meet up with him and a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
And we met up with him at one of the bars close to Joe's hotel.
Yeah.
And just spent the evening just talking and telling stories, and I love that guy, So
he's literally the only English/Australian person teetotaler I've ever met in my entire life. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Dave is on my end of the spectrum. I don't drink. Dave doesn't drink. And so we're out with these two schlubs trying to keep themselves straight. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
totally kidding. But
no, there was a really nice moment. I felt like once all the dust had settled, we were able to go to a restaurant in downtown in the Arts District where we hung out outside and we just talked about whatever, about life, about music, about Kiss, about all this stuff, about our experiences. It was like a perfect night, perfect weather night. This kind of seemed like the perfect kind of capper to what we had just kind of been through, because it had been really hot up to that point. You guys, we all at different points were in this garage, packing, unpacking, moving books, filming some stuff and doing all kinds of things. So it was really nice to get a break in the weather where we could sit outside and really just sort of enjoy, food and the time together. So it was cool because I think, Jason, you've talked about it before. With Nicholas being in Australia, we're kind of counting on one hand the times that we might be in the same room together. So it really was, honestly, and I had said this to Nicholas up front, I think you two had done the same, Jason, that, we just want to kind of be out in LA just to meet you, regardless of what happens on all that other stuff side of things. You've known Nicholas forever online, right, Jason?
10 years, 11 years.
Yeah,
11 years. Yeah. So, absolutely. That was absolutely my favorite part because we say, we can count on one hand. We may never meet again. And, that would be sad and unfortunate. But, I just felt like I really, really enjoyed just us hanging out together and laughed so much. It was so fun. And that was
And also just being in different parts. Like I'd only ever been up in the hills where my brother-in-law was. It was beautiful to come down to downtown. I go to downtown any day, I'd say. But it was good. It was great to come down. It was great. It's great to go down there and see
we
different
got so
areas
far.
of yes, exactly. It was great. It was great to go down there and I don't know, just see different areas where I never would have gone to if hadn't met Dave, Scott, and Joe, yourself being down there. Like I was actually really enjoying. Once that signing was over, I went, now I can relax and feel like I'm actually enjoying being in LA and just being a bit of a tourist and having a drink and having a bit of food. I was all the stress of making sure everyone got their product was off the shoulders at that point. So it was great.
That was another great point for me. Was I know Joe has a son out there, so he's been out there a bunch. Nicholas, I know you've been out there 3 or 4 times because you have a brother-in-law that lives there, and that's who you were staying with. I've never been to LA. So, getting out there and hanging out, my first day out there
being on the freeway.
Right, being on the freeway. That was the best part. I was hanging out with Mike Fasano, former drummer of Warrant, current drummer of Tiger Army. He was taking us around and, going to eat sushi and going to drum shops and going down,
Didn't you see the Roxy or the?
We went to the Sunset Strip. We went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill, the Motley Crue apartment. We got to see the Whiskey A Go Go and take photos, which I'll drop in here. That was just that was a fun time. It was hot as hell, but it was a fun time. Got to set in the Lemmy area, right beside where Lemmy used to sit and play that video poker all the time.
It was very dusty. There was a lot of white dust everywhere.
Yeah. I wonder what that was. I don't know why they didn't wipe that up.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, exactly.
But it was Nicholas got to go to DreamWorks, and
that was fun. Yeah,
and just going around to all these iconic places. I don't know if I would actually want to live in LA, but I fantasize about LA because my whole fandom of music is based around that city, and getting to see a lot of those legendary places was really special to me. So, when I originally wasn't going to go, and when I found out that everybody else was actually going to be there, and I was just thinking, this is just an opportunity that I can't miss out on. I can't miss being with the guys in one place. I can't miss getting to go to the Sunset Strip. I can't miss possibly getting to participate in the signing of the books. That there's just too much going on to want to pass that up. So, yeah.
I did think it was funny when we went to the Motley Crue house and we were all standing outside going, wow, that's the Motley Crue house. And somebody goes, no, I think this is not the Motley Crue house. It's 2 doors up. Wow.
Joe wasn't with us.
I wasn't, yeah.
We were going back. We were deleting pictures.
The cops turn up.
So all the pictures that we insert now will be not the Motley Crue house.
No. We got real pictures. Now, I think what happened, I was texted my friend Nick, who's a real scholar on 80s metal and the LA scene, and he was like, no, I think that was the place that they thought was the Motley Crue house, but I think it's actually here. And he gave me the new address, and it's like 2 complexes up, and we're like, oh, that makes more sense, because he I think he was saying it was supposed to be like apartment, I can't remember now, apartment 4 or something like that, and no, it was something higher than that. It was like 204 or something like that. And the place that we were originally at was like it had apartment 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was like, well, maybe they changed the numbers.
And
then he was
jumped
like,
in the
no.
pool. I'm going, that's physically impossible. These guys were superhuman. I'm just picturing Molly jumping like 1,000 feet in the air to get to this pool. Oh no, wait, it's the wrong
Bitch,
place.
jump 4 complexes over. That's
So much to
incredible.
get into the pool. It's like, what?
But then when he was like,
Forget
no,
music, that would
he,
be great.
yeah, he was reading. He said, no, it says here, this is what people thought it was for a long time. Here's the other place. And we walked up the hill a little bit more. And you could see there was apartment 203 and 204 was behind it. And there were balconies right over the pool and stuff like that. So
The original house was selling T-shirts that I visited the house you thought was the Motley Crue house.
I thought I visited the Motley Crue house, and all I got was a stupid T-shirt.
yeah. so that was fun.
Yeah.
It was a great adventure.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a really cool trip. Just something that happened organically that kind of none of us planned on, and it just sort of all worked out perfectly.
Yeah, all the stars lined up, as they say. You know, all the
Literally
everyone
and figuratively, right?
and figuratively, yeah.
So,
Nicholas's brother-in-law was very accommodating. So, just personally thank him. That was, to have a place to go and have like a headquarters kind of thing and space to be able to work all of that stuff out and get the books taken care of and assembly lined and all that stuff. He was great. So
again, to wrap it up, thanks to everybody with the KISS camp. Thanks to Gene and Paul and Tommy and Eric themselves for being so cool and accommodating. Everybody who helped out in Los Angeles. Tim, our print producer, and gosh, the guy who saved us over and over again. And just everybody for supporting the book.
Exactly.
Cool.
howtosprayandbook.com. Get your copy today. So.
And what's cool is that's just the beginning of the adventure, hopefully, right? We've got a new project coming up, and we've got other things lining up on the runway, hopefully, and we'll go from there.
We'd like to announce what we've got coming up, but that'd spoil the fun of the real announcement. So there's definitely a lot of things in the pipeline that we're working on at the moment. So I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. I think you're gonna be excited. And as we always said, whenever we come up with these new things, whether it's the book or whether it's this vinyl release, it's like, is it the Etch-a-Sketch thing that you hold up and shake before you start drawing it? That's what we do, because we go every time shake. What are we going to do this time? It's got to be totally different. It's got to be high quality. It's got to have a wow factor, and it's got to excite us. If we're going to be involved in anything, we've got to go. Like, I hold the book still, and I go, even though I made it and sat there for bloody 1 billion hours writing it, I still hold it and go, wow, this is incredible. And I think this is the same with it. We've got to have that enthusiasm about these products to just go, I'm so excited about doing this. And we've all said that. If we're not excited about it, we won't work on it. Because we've all got other jobs and other stuff to do. So it has to be something which really makes us feel, it gives a bit of electricity in the air. That's what
that we have fun with, right? That's the big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want any of this, and anything else happening around us other than just trying to have fun and moving forward on these things and bringing quality products to the people all the time. Because look, we're, like Nicholas said, we're fans too. And I want to have that Space Invader record in my hand just as much as you guys do, even though we're working on it. I was dying to have that book in my hands, maybe even more than some people, just because it's one of the coolest KISS books, if I might say so ourselves, one of the coolest KISS books out there. Yeah. So at least we think so.
Yeah. And the feedback from people has been amazing. The best things is when people just say, this is so cool, I couldn't put it down. I was really excited about it, because that makes me really happy. It's not so much the business side or getting to work with KISS or even the signing, like even meeting Gene and Paul. It's actually when you guys write and just say, I really love that. Wow. Those moments I'm going, wow, that was worth it, because that makes me feel really happy.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
Good job, guys. You both did an amazing job on the book and all the promotions and all the stuff that went behind the scenes. Jason, you played a part too. I mean, look, you've got a podcast that reaches thousands of people. You've got groups that have thousands of people in them, and your promotions of it and your we couldn't have done it without you. Yeah, your unflinching support is always cool. So thank you for that, for sure. And you're a big part of it as well. So thank you for that.
All right. Well, okay, if you insist.
And are you going to say we'll see you on the next one, or am I?
You can.
We'll see you on the next one.
This is the Kiss My Collectibles podcast. Did you know that?
Why did Jason leave?
No.
I didn't mean to hang up.
He took that shit
Fuck you
serious.
guys.
That's right. We'll see you on the next. Like,